Okay, so in the last session, we were discussing about some of the basics of the security, right? Now, today we'll be discussing some more things related to the awareness and security, right? So, the agenda for today is protecting personal information, cyberbullying and cyber etiquettes you should follow, how to find you're being bullied online, and a bit about cyber frauds and cyber scams, right? So when we are talking about protecting the personal information, right? So that's what we are gonna discuss. Okay, so when we are talking about protecting personal information, right? What is personal information? So when we are talking about personal information, right? So personal information is any data or detail that can be used to identify any person, right? So if I have email ID of yours, or if I have, let's say, the passport of yours, right? So the information provided in that passport will help me in identifying you, right? And there are some information that will help me about your identity, your characteristics, or activities, right? So that information can be sensitive or non-sensitive both, right? Now, when we are talking about the personal information, there are some categories in the personal information, right? So what are those categories? There is something known as identifying information. What is identifying information? Like what things will come under identifying information? Can I say your full name, date of birth? Yep. Passport number? Yep. Then driver's license number, right? So that is identifying information by which I am identifying something. By driver license number, I am identifying you, right? That this is the driver. This is the person whose driving license is this, right? Then there is contact information as well. Under personal information, there is contact information. Now, what can be contact information? So inside contact information, your address, your phone number, your email address, and any other information which can be used to reach you or locate you will be there, right? That is what? That is your contact information, right? By which you can be contacted. Now, next thing that we have is financial information. What can be financial information? Your bank account number, your credit card number, financial transaction, income details, tax information, and any other data which is related to your financial status. That is financial information, right? Then health information is also there. What is health information? physical health or mental health, medical records, prescriptions, right? So any other information that reveals your medical condition or medical history, right? That is health information. Then you have biometric information. What is biometric information? Your physical or behavioral characteristics, which can be used to identify you, right? Like we have your fingerprints, right? Then we have your retina or iris scanner, right? So in mobile phones nowadays, we have iris and retina scanners as well. We have facial recognition. We have voice prints as well, right? So all these are what? This is biometric information, right? Then we also have employment information. Now, what is employment information? Great. So the details about your employment history, job title, employer's name, the salary information, or any other information related to your work or your professional life. That is employer education information, right? Then we have education information. What is education information? The data about your educational background, like your school you attended, the degrees you have obtained, academic transcripts, or any other information related to your education, right? That is education information. Then we have online identifiers. So, what are online identifiers? What is online identifier? How you are identified online, right? So, what things will be there in online identifier? So, the very first thing, see, whenever you visit any website, right, does that website know you by your name? You visited the website infosectrain.com. Does that website know you by your name? No. You don't have an account on InfosecTrain. You cannot make an account. You just can surf on that, right? So you're surfing the website of InfosecTrain. InfosecTrain knows what? Only your IP address. That is what? That is an online identifier. That's how, that is your name over the internet, right? So if I'm visiting any website, I will be identified by my IP address first. Then I will create an account on the website, then I will give my name and everything, right? So that is what that is online identifier. Then you also have device identifier. What is device identifier? By which your device can be identified. The MAC address, right? Then you have cookies. Now cookies are what? This is small piece of data which is stored in the web browser and the website can retrieve it later, right? So what happens whenever you visit a website, right? The website will send a cookie to you, to your browser. Your browser will save that cookie. Now that cookie is having some information. Now the information is like your username and password also, right? That is also stored in the cookie. So why cookies are there? Because whenever you visit a website first time, so it takes time to get loaded. Like it's not that much slow, so you might never experience it or notice it, but it's bit slow because the process is happening in the back end for finding out that where exactly the website is, right? After that, when the cookies are set and you have the cookies, so at that time, cookies will tell this website that the server has the user has returned to the website again, right? So once you have cookies in your device, so it will be easy, right? So you don't have to follow the whole DNS process, just you know where the path is and you are done, right? Right? But not all the cookies are safe. Why? Because if you have persistent cookies, right, there are some cookies known as persistent cookies. So these cookies, they stay there in your system for a longer period of time. There are temporary cookies as well. So whenever you visit any website, you open the website, right? The cookies will be there in your system, right? And then after that, the cookies will be removed. So those are temporary cookies, just for the time when your session is going on, when you are online on a website, right? After you close the tab or you close the website, the cookies are cleared. But persistent cookies, they are there for a longer period of time, right? And they contain the username and password, right? So if they are having username and password and someone gets those cookies, there are chances that the attacker will get your username and password as well, right? So it's always like preferred that all the cookies, if any website is asking for cookies, like that we use cookies, so don't accept all the cookies, just accept all the necessary cookies that are that you need to run your session only, but don't use anything, right? Any persistent cookie, because sometimes cookie do what? These cookies, they store your information, right? And when they store your information, so let's say I'm doing what I'm just visiting the Amazon, right? And in Amazon I'm searching for laptops. So then like after some time, I'll everywhere I will get advertisements of laptops, because now my cookies, they have shared the data with other websites that this person was looking for laptops, give him the advertisements of laptops, right? So use necessary cookies only, so they will not trace you, they will not get your data, or use websites that don't use any cookies, right? So whenever you visit any website, you get an option to use necessary cookies only. So those cookies are needed to run the session. Cookies are something which are sent by the website to your device, right? To enhance the working of the website, right? So whenever we have, let's say when you all have used YouTube, right? Every one of you all have logged into YouTube. You have accounts on YouTube. Now, whenever you open YouTube, YouTube is same, but the songs, the videos, or the movies that you see in the page of YouTube, is it same for everyone? Just you open your YouTube and you see some songs and everything. So is it same for everyone? No. So there is a session running between you and YouTube, but whatever your interest is, that interest is saved in your cookies. Whenever you visit YouTube, only the things that you liked will be shown to you, right? The playlist you have, the movies you have watched, or the shows you have watched, or the songs you have you were listening, so all those things will be shown only, right? So it's according to the cookies, so that's why we use cookies. And even there are websites which show you that for best experience, we use cookies. But if you don't want it, you can deny that I don't want to use your cookies. So it will not send cookies to your browser. See, you cannot differentiate like this on like between the cookies, because temporary cookies you will not be able to see, right? So they once you close the session, like you opened a website, let's say example.com, and you close that website, so cookies will be removed, temporary cookies, but the cookies left in your device will be left in your browser will be permanent cookies, right? So all the cookies that you see in your browser settings, those cookies are permanent cookies. If you want to remove, you can remove them, right? Great. So these are your online identifiers. Then you also have social media information. Yep, great. Now, what is social media information? Username and password, something which we give ourselves away for people. Great. Yep. So the social media platforms, right? Whatever data you share, your post, photos, location, check-ins, friend list, or any other information which reveals detail about your personal life or interest, right? That is social media information. Then another type of personal information that you have is your personal preferences. What do you mean by personal preferences? Your preferences, your interests, your hobbies, or any other information that can be used to create a profile or target you with specific advertisement or services, right? So that is your personal preferences, all the things that you prefer, right? And you like to watch those things, or you are planning to purchase something, so only those advertisements will be sent to you, right? So you will be targeted with specific advertisements. So that is due to personal preferences, right? Any doubts, any queries? Perfect. Now, this is all personal information. Now, we want to find out that how we can protect our personal information. So, what are your take? What is your take about it? Like, what things we have to follow so that our personal information stays safe, stays secure? We get a password, authentication. We should not click unverified links. Great, perfect. So, first thing, you should use strong and unique password for all your online accounts, right? So, every single account that you have, every account should have a unique password, because if you are using same password for all the accounts and attacker gets that, then it will be a problem for you, because all of your accounts will be compromised, right? So unique passwords we should use, and strong passwords means that your password should have uppercase, right? A symbol or more than one symbol, lowercase letters, numbers, right? And it should be minimum of 8 characters, right? And you should keep updating your password every, like, minimum take it 6 months. So after every 6 months, just update your password, so that there are less chances of getting your password hacked, right? Then, as you said, two-factor authentication. What is authentication? All of you said we should use two-factor authentication, but how will you define authentication? So, authentication means identifying a person who he or she is claiming to be. So, if I am claiming that I am Ashish, then there should be something for authenticating, right? So, whenever you visit ATM, you authenticate yourself before withdrawing the money. So, you don't say to the ATM that my name is this and I want my money. No, you give it a card, you enter a PIN, and done, right? That is authentication. Now, two-factor authentication means you are using two different factors, right? That means, let's say, password and card, right? Password or PIN and card, right? So two factors. You are giving your card, only you have that card, and even if someone gets that card, they don't have the PIN, right? Because only you remember it. So card is something you have, and password is something you know, right? So that is what we can do. We can use two-factor authentication, right? So in Google also, you might have seen whenever you log into your Gmail account from different phone, right? So Google also have two-step verification, right? Enter your password and then there will be a message that click on the number, right? So you click on that number like 28, 52, 82, whatever it is, and then you will be logged in, right? So that is two-step verification from Google, right? Then, apart from this two-factor authentication, you can regularly update your operating system, your softwares, your applications to patch security vulnerabilities. So, Windows, they send updates, right? So, many of the times you might have seen that those updates are the updates of security, right? Security patches are there. So, you should download them, keep them downloaded so that you're not uh, vulnerable to any of the attacks, right? Anyone knows when Microsoft send Windows updates, like if every month is there a specific time when they send up the update? Tuesdays. Okay. And what Tuesday? Which week's Tuesday? So it sends on second Tuesday, right? Of every month. Great. Then what other steps you can take? You can install antiviruses, anti-malware softwares on your devices. Yep, that's the password policy. Yeah, correct. So they have deployed their policies in their devices. I'll tell you more about the Apple. Like we think Apple is secure, but it's not that much secure, right? So you have Safari browser, right? In your iOS devices. Apple use Safari, right? So when I was working with Safari, I found that Safari was sending the traffic to Apple, all the data. So whatever you are doing on Safari, everything is mm, recorded by Apple. It was directly sending data to Apple. So it's not that much secure as we think. Others cannot get the data, but if Apple has every single data. And sometimes, like recent study tells that Apple clicks your pictures every single time. So I've not tested it. So once I'll test it, then I'll confirm. But that's what people are saying. Great. So we can install antiviruses, right? So you can if you use Firefox, then it's fine, right? So Firefox is less vulnerable. Chrome is also fine. All the other browsers are fine, but in Chrome, last year we saw that there were around 3,000 vulnerabilities that were found in Chrome, right? All of those are now patched, but still, I don't use Opera because I don't trust. Great. Then you have to be cautious when you are clicking on the links or downloading any attachment in emails, especially from unknown sources. Because the thing is, you are downloading the correct thing, it does not have anything. Many of the websites you might have seen that in those websites, you have what? You have download link, right? But when you are downloading something, you clicked on download, it will download a third party app. Like what happened? There was a software that I needed, so I downloaded it, right? With that software, it downloaded Avast antivirus as well. Great. Then, whenever you visit airports, railway stations, or bus stations, so you get free Wi-Fi's over there. Yep. Now, using that free Wi-Fi is also not a very good idea, right? And whenever, even if you are using that public Wi-Fi network, don't use it for any sensitive activities like you are doing online banking or accessing personal accounts. Because what happens, attackers they create fake Wi-Fis, right? Right? And when they create fake Wi-Fis, so at that time you connect to it and your device is under the attacker's control. Correct? Everyone needs Wi-Fis. Now, in hotels and resorts, what thing is you get portals. So that portal is known as captive portal, right? So in hotels, it is a bit more secure as compared to the free Wi-Fis that you are getting in different places like airports or railway stations. Yeah, correct. Even everything can be tracked, right? So when we are talking about the Wi-Fi's, Wi-Fi is a thing that you can track, right? So if I have it, let me check. So if you can see this website, there what you are getting, Wi-Fi observations, this much, Wi-Fi networks, this much, right? If I just search Delhi, right? Now these dots that you can see, these purple dots, these are different Wi-Fi devices, right? So all these are Wi-Fi devices, and if you create yourself an account on this and you click on any Wi-Fi network, so you will see that it has its SSID, the name of the Wi-Fi, and the MAC address of the Wi-Fi, and it will also give you that what type of encryption it is using, so that you can find out if it is breakable or not. If it is using WPA2 or WPA, so you can break it, you can crack that Wi-Fi, right? So it includes public Wi-Fi's as well and private as well. So be aware about that, right? So try to create yourself an account on this website and see uh, what information you are getting about different Wi-Fi's nearby you. right? Great. So that's about Wi-Fi. Then the VPNs. So whenever you are connecting to any public Wi-Fi network, so use VPN so that you are not tracked, your internet traffic is encrypted, right? Then while you are sharing personal information on social media platforms, so just adjust privacy settings accordingly, because you don't want everyone to show those pictures. You want your friends to see those pictures. Yes, it's fine. Like it's something that you do. That's what social media is for, but don't share it with everyone. Like there is a setting in Facebook also that when you are sharing the picture, so it will be shared with friends or friends of friends, right? So share it with friends only so that they will be able to see the picture. That's fine, right? But not everyone, unknown people would be able to see it, right? And why you should not share these your pictures or anything? Because like there was a case, right? What happened? There was a person who uploaded his pictures, right? And he was having his hands up in the air, right? So he clicked the pictures, like that picture was found by an attacker, and attacker from that picture created the fingerprint of that person. Not attacker, but he was a researcher. So researcher created the picture of like he created the fingerprints of from that picture, and when those fingerprints were put on the fingerprint scanner of the mobile device was unlocked, right? So your fingerprints can also be recreated from the picture. So if fingerprints can be recreated, your facial things, your facial recognition can also be bypassed using that. You cannot be tracked using VPN. Only the VPN provider knows that what you are doing, right? And in India nowadays, it's said that government is asking the VPN providers to share the data. So that's why some of the VPNs they have stopped working in India, because VPN is something which is used for privacy, and if they have to share the data, then why to use VPN, right? So that's the thing. Yeah, like you should upload pictures, but not too often, not every day. Like you are uploading the pictures, it may harm you, right? So your location will be tracked, right, where you are right now, and from where you are uploading the picture. So everything will be tracked and traced. Correct. So you should avoid oversharing of personal information on online forms and surveys. Like there are lots of online forms that uh, that come in front of you, right? So don't fill every single form, right? Even if it is good, like the surveys on YouTube, that is personal information they are asking you. Then there are some phishing attempts as well. Attackers, they do phishing. Phishing means they will send you a link over the email, and then you click on that link, right? So there are different types of phishing, right? It can be done over text messages, it can be done over calls. So never share your personal or financial information through email or phone until and unless you know the person or you know the recipient, right? If there are any documents that you have which is containing your personal information, just dispose them. You can shred them, because whenever you order something from Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, or any other online website, right? So there is a there is information about you, right? There is a paper on which all of your information is written, right? So you should tear it apart, because if you are throwing it, someone else will get it and they will get your address, they will get your name. And nowadays it is the phone number is masked, right? The phone number written on it, it is masked, but back in the old days, like 2 3 years back, it was not masked. Your phone number was also written. So due to security reasons, they have now written like this, right? So that's what you can do. Then, if you are doing any sensitive conversations, use the apps which have encryption, right? Monitor your financial accounts for any unauthorized activity, even if that activity is like sometimes what happens, 1 rupee or $1 gets deducted. So people don't see, like, yeah, it's only 1 rupee got deducted. It would be due to something, right? So monitor your financial accounts even if a small amount is getting deducted. So you should know why it is getting deducted, right? Check your credit reports to find out any suspicious or unauthorized accounts. Like sometimes what happens, someone may take, like, there were cases that people are taking loans on someone else's behalf, right? So their credit score is getting down every day, right? So check your credit reports, right? And don't share your personal information over the phone, because if you are, especially if you are getting any call that you don't know, right? So that's what you can do. Then you can use password manager to store and generate strong passwords. Enable device encryption on your mobile devices and computers. Back up your important data in any cloud storage or external hard drive, but I'll prefer external hard drive from cloud, right? And that's what you can do, right? And whenever you are signing up for new services, or like, let's say there is a website which you want to use and that website does not have any uh, like, they will send lots of emails to you, right? And they want your email ID. So rather than doing that, what you can do, you can use temporary emails, right? So you can just write temp mail. So there is temp mail and there is one more 10 minutes mail, right? So it will give you an email ID, and if the website is sending you an email, that email will also be shown to you here, right? So you can copy that email ID, use it some anywhere, and done, right? So these 10 minutes email ID are used whenever you want to create account on the websites that you will use, but not every time. Temporary mail it is, right? So if you want to register on a website but you don't want to receive emails from that website every day, so you can give temporary mail over there just for registering purpose, and done. You can use the website and then after 10 minutes the email will expire, right? But you will be registered. So I use that a lot. I don't give my personal email ID everywhere, so I use a lot of websites, so that's why. See, with our Aadhaar card or PAN card ID, no one can do anything apart from just checking your CIBIL score, right? Aadhaar, lots of Aadhaar card IDs and your, like, PAN card IDs and your addresses, they were leaked last year, right? So The thing is that you might have used, many of you might be using that Truecaller. In Sweden and India, it is used only. Truecaller. Yes. So Truecaller's database was leaked and Truecaller was reading your data. So Truecaller was having your Aadhaar card numbers, your address, your phone number, your parents' name, whatever is written in your Aadhaar card, Truecaller was having that, right? So the huge amount of data was leaked from Truecaller last year. But nothing bad happened. But yeah, they have your whole information, so that data may be sent to the advertisement agencies or the other agencies which may call you and disturb you. Yeah, Uber was a different scenario. Like it was a kind of social engineering done, and the password was retrieved from the VPN. So it was a different story. DuckDuckGo is a browser. So it's a search engine. So in your, like, if you open your browser, right? So this is Google, right? So you are using Google. But if I write this, right? And you can change the working of it, right? So what search engine you want, right? Everything you can use, right? So there are lots of settings, and there you will find out that if you want to use Google as the search engine or DuckDuckGo, right? So you can use DuckDuckGo as well, right? It's better, it's safe, right? So lots of settings are there, right? So the default search engine I'm using, but if you want, you can use others. Perfect. Now let's talk about password, right? So you have password security and management, right? Now, when we are talking about password security and management, right? How to manage your passwords and how to secure your passwords. So first thing, as we discussed, that we have to use unique password for each online account, right? Then we have to create long passwords with minimum 12 characters, right? There should be a combination of uppercase, lowercase, numbers, special characters in your password, right? Don't use common passwords or easily guessable passwords like password or 123456, because see, there are lots of leaked passwords and their directories are created, right? If you have anti browser antivirus, that will not help. It won't help that much. So what we have, like the leaked passwords or the password files that we use to attack any login page, right? So there are a lots of passwords present there, right? So if I show you, uh, inside this, there are passwords, right? And if you see here, there is a list of passwords. So default credentials, honeypot captures, leaked databases. From leaked databases, there are passwords from malwares, software, Wi-Fi passwords, right? So 500 worst passwords, 500 worst passwords, 2020 200 most used passwords. So from dark web, the passwords which were leaked, right? So all the passwords are there from Dutch word list, German word list, right? And then some other word list, 10 million passwords, right? So these are the password lists that attackers use, right? So you have to make sure your password is unique, right? So you can have this link, right? Apart from this, there are lots and lots of passwords, right? So, like if I show you, uh, this is Kali Linux. So, if I go here, and there is a file, rockq.txt. It is already there, right? And that is something, a database of passwords that you can use, right? And if I show you how many of them are there, so these much of passwords are there, right? These much of passwords are present here. Don't stick to malware bytes, just use it as an extension. Great. So you should not use the passwords like guessable passwords, right? Uh, then use passphrases instead of passwords. So passwords are not are shorter as compared to passphrases, right? Then do not use personal information like your name, your birth date, your address, and your password, right? And regularly update your password. So prefer prefer like 3 to 6 months, right? And avoid reusing old passwords or simply incrementing a number or adding symbol at the end, right? So passphrase is what? Passphrase is easy to remember and it's longer in length as compared to the password, right? So in organizations, those who are working, there is policy, password policy. So there is complexity policy. Your password should be complex. There should not be any guessable thing. It should not relate to you, right? That is one thing. And password history is also one thing, right? So password history means you cannot use last 10 passwords, right? So that is password history policy. And then there is password aging as well, right? So your password should be updated within 3 months, after every 3 months, right? And once you have changed the password, let's say I change the password today, so you have to keep the same password for let's say minimum 15 days, right? Then after 15 days you can again change it, right? So that is the password policy, right, in organizations, but you should follow it for yourself as well, right? If you are using any password manager, then it's fine, but make sure the password manager is reputed, right? Then the two-factor authentication, right? So you should use two-factor authentication. And for phishing attempts, just be cautious about that, right? So when we are talking about phishing attempt, verify the legitimacy of the website or the email before entering your credentials, right? Change your password immediately. If you are suspecting that your account has been compromised or will be compromised, just quickly change your password, right? And don't write your passwords on a paper, right? So that's also something which someone can read. Then you can have a hardware security key or biometric authentication for added protection. Like there is a tool which is with the name Kisi. So this is just a tool, this Kisi. You can use this, right? Whenever you have like you want to just copy your card, so you don't want to take your card with you, so you can take this. So it will copy your card, and whenever you will press the button, so it has four buttons, so four things it can uh, like save. So this kind of tool you can use, right? The hardware key. Then uh, you have to use secure and trusted password recovery options like alternate email addresses you should have, alternate phone numbers you should have, right? Don't enter your passwords on public computers or any shared networks, right? And auto saving of passwords in the browsers should be avoided, right? And if the devices are not securely encrypted, then do not save it in the browser, right? Review the permission and security settings of your online accounts regularly. Then educate yourself on the latest password security practices. Stay informed about data breaches which will affect your accounts, and use password strength checker to evaluate the strength of your password and make necessary improvement. See, LastPass was the one that you can use. One password is there, right? RoboForm is there, and there is NordPass. So you can use NordPass. That is trustable, right? So the password managers from like Norton and Nord, like NordPass. So these are trustable ones. NordPass is a password manager, and uh, the mobile that was hacked within seconds or minute after launching because it was having bugs, right? So the person found the bug in the fingerprint button. So you write a program, right? You write a code, right? So whenever you write code and your code has some bugs, right? Has some things missing, right? So at that time, attackers use it, pen testers use it to bypass the authentication. So he just bypassed the authentication, nothing much. Okay, so there are two main elements of privacy, right? The state of being alone and not being watched or interrupted by other people, right? So when you are going through, like when you are alone, right? You are scrolling through your social media application like Instagram, you are physically alone, but you are also watched or interrupted by other people. They may not be there in the same room, but you are still a number on a screen for someone, right? So on the top of that, you're constantly interrupted by the advertisements that interfere with your videos, articles, browsing. right? So this situation may feel private, but it is not, right? And that is why definition of online privacy, it covers your natural expectation to have your personal data protected and your behavior not tracked when you are connected to the internet, right? And we discussed about the personal data. So online privacy is rooted in our fundamental need for safety. So if you find it natural to protect your home and physical belongings, the same applies to your digital life as well, right? No matter what technology you use and or you do not use. Privacy gives you control over your identity and all the things it is made of. But because things are not as visible to everyone, online privacy is not on the priority list for many of the people, right? So the complex technological, legal, commercial combo does not make online privacy easy to achieve, but it is essential, right? So if connecting to the internet involves some form of tracking or surveillance, is online privacy a myth? Because, see, privacy is not considered a standard in our connected world, right? It may appear so. But for those who believe in this, online privacy is achievable. Not everywhere and not all the time, but when and where it matters the most. So whenever you sign up for any new application or make a purchase, you agree with set of terms and conditions. Your agreement means organization can legally collect information about you, like what you bought, which websites you visit, your preferences related to any topics. So this type of personal data collection is legal, right? So it does not mean that you cannot take steps to limit these privacy invasion tactics, right? Online privacy exists, and it is up to each and every one of us to make it norm instead of exception, right? So online privacy is what, like, it is involved in everything from how technology evolves to how this evolution impacts your personal safety and security. So the real offline dangers that poor online privacy creates, it includes doxing. Okay, so when we are talking about doxing, doxing is what everyone knows, PII, right? Personally identifiable information. Any information by which a person can be identified, right? It can be your email address, it can be your card details, it can be your passport, it can be anything, right? So when you find someone's PII and make it public, that is known as doxing. So if you remember, I showed you some credit card details or debit card details. Yep, that was due to doxing. So these are the details. Full name Freddie Perkins, date of birth 16th of June 1982, mother's maiden name Joyce Perkins, social security number, home phone number, address line 2, city, state, zip code, country, payment type, debit card or credit card number, expiration date, card verification number, secure code, right? So lots of things you will find here, right? Everything is done with the help of doxing, right? So people have uploaded these informations over these pages in the page when they have uploaded, right? This is known as doxing, right? So it includes doxing, right? Then, so when we are talking about swatting, It is a criminal harassment tactic of deceiving an emergency service into sending an police or emergency service response team to another person's address, right? So it can be triggered by false reporting of serious emergency like bomb threat, murder, or any hostage situation, anything, right? That is swatting. So poor online privacy, it can lead to swatting as well. Clear? Correct, kind of fooling. See, swatting is what? Like I'm sending any emergency service or I'm sending ambulance to someone's home and they don't need it, right? That is swatting. False reporting I'm doing, right? So that is swatting, right? So it can lead to swatting as well. Now, like it can be anything, right? In the terms of security, what attackers they will perform an attack on your firewall wherever your firewall is. So the whole security team will be busy there. They will just find out who did this. They will try to track you down. They will do everything. But they left all the other places open for you. So they are not monitoring now the other places. They have their concentration on one place, which is the firewall, right? So at that time, attacker does what? Attacker attacks on some other places, the other servers or other devices, right? So same like that, using swatting also we can like false reporting also we can send them into other places, right? Okay, so let's talk about how online privacy affects you personally. So you let's say like you don't probably want like thieves to know that you live alone, right? Or the exact time you are alone, you are not at home, right? So you don't want to give them an opportunity to break into your apartment. You do not want to give scammers a chance to use your date and place of birth and other personal data to take out loans in your name, right? You also expect cyber criminals to be stopped before they can trick you into opening malicious emails, which will install malware, which records everything you type. So, take a moment and list most important online accounts. So it may include your online banking account, your email address, and your favorite social media platform, right? Now, once you have found those most important accounts, list the type of information they have about you. You don't have to look far, just start with your social media profile. You shared your phone number, contact, email, your place, date of birth, where you work, where you went to school, your relationship status, anything, right? So this is an opportunity to evaluate whether the trade-off between your privacy and the benefits you get by using that service is still fair or not, right? And then you can revoke their rights anytime. Even if you are comfortable using a product, even if you are comfortable using like Facebook. So if your privacy is less as compared to the benefits you are getting, then you can keep your account. But if your privacy is not there, like you are not having any privacy and most of your information is shared, so you can revoke that information, right? Anytime, right? So it is important, right? Internet privacy is important. It gives you control over your identity and personal information, right? So without that control, anyone with the intention and means can manipulate your identity to serve their goals, whether it is selling your more expensive vacation or stealing your savings, right? So what you post on social media, what you write about in the comment section of websites, and how well you protect your data. So all of this influence the people closest to you, whether it is family, friends, or colleagues, right? So this is why everything you do for your own privacy also has positive impact on others, right? What happens? Uh, like before this, I was working into data science field before cybersecurity. So what happens? Let's say in your area you opened a new restaurant, right? Now that restaurant costed you 20 lakhs, right? And in that restaurant your specialty is, let's say, noodles, right? So now you have the specialty as noodles, but your restaurant did well, and you have to close it after 1 or 2 or 3 months, right? So how much loss you have? 20 lakhs, right? Now at the same time, someone smarter than you, some organization, what they did, they got some data, they purchased data of the people nearby you, in your locality only, in your place only, right? And they found that the people living here, they like dumplings more. So they opened a restaurant, or they opened a food cart having only dumplings, different types of dumplings, right? It costed them 5 lakhs to purchase the data, and 5 lakhs to open that food cart only. And now they are earning very well, right? So the data that companies or websites, they are gathering from you, sometimes the data is also sold, right, to big organizations. Why do you think that big organizations, how they take a step that we should start, like someone is into a clothing business and they are thinking that okay, we should start with some beauty accessories as well. How they are thinking about that? They are getting the data, correct? That can be, Eureka, that can be identified who sorted them using the phone numbers, right? But nowadays, phone numbers, they are like, you can track them, you can track the location. If it is tracked, then it's fine, right? Then we have social media safety. So when we are talking about social media, how to be safe and secure, right? The password and the two-factor authentication, it is always the same thing, right? Now you have to think the content you post or share, right? It can have long term consequences as well, right? Think twice before accepting any friend or connection request from unknown or suspicious individuals, right? Be cautious about the personal information you share online, like your full name, address, phone number, financial details. Like, don't share your phone number ever, right? Even some people have shared their phone numbers on LinkedIn, right? So it's not good to share phone numbers. If someone wants to contact you, they will ping you. You can give them some email ID if you believe them and if you have worked with them. So that's what you can do, right? Then you should keep your device's operating system, apps, antiviruses software up to date to protect against any security vulnerabilities. Avoid using Wi-Fi networks when you are accessing social media accounts, right? So they can be insecure and prone to hacking. Then be cautious when you are clicking on any ads or links, right? Because there are advertisements, lots of advertisements. Like I don't know if you guys have used torrent or not, but in torrent websites also there are advertisements, right? So those advertisements, they are not malicious always, but sometimes they may be malicious, right? So they are known as spywares, right? Spywares are what? These are the, it is a kind of malware, a malicious software which will record your browser history, browser cache, browser cookies, right? So it is there to keep an eye on you. So make sure you don't click on advertisements or links, right? And sometimes you get advertisements like your device is infected with a virus. Click on this link to scan it. So that is also something you should not do, right? So that's one thing. And then do not use any third party apps, right? Download the applications from an Android, Google Play Store, and iOS Store, right? Right? Then there may be content that is too good to be true, right? Which looks like it's really good, right? Lots of things you are getting, lots of benefits you are getting, and you don't have to give anything. So that is too good to be true content. You have to look out for that as well, right? Uh, if you want to share some information over the social media, so share the information which is selective, right? Not everything you should share, right? Like nowadays we have some bloggers, right? So they share every single point, like what they are doing or what they are not doing when they are having breakfast and all. So that's not good to share, right? If you want to be secure, then if there are any online debates or discussions going on, so think before you are engaging in them. Sometimes it may escalate into harmful or toxic situations, right? So now Indian government has also done that. If you are found in like any of the online debate, right, which is like in which you are there is a hate speech or speech related to religion or anything, your passport may be cancelled, right? So that we have to take care of, right? Then be mindful about your online reputation. So how your social media presence can be viewed by the employers, colleagues, or future acquaintances, right? So you have to make sure that everything is in a balance, right? We don't like if I'm saying something bad about someone, no, you should not do that, right? Yeah, there are preferences of everyone, so you should not put every preference of yours on like on social media. Like you don't say that, yeah, I don't like that organization, I don't want to work for that organization. Maybe someday that organization calls you and says, yeah, if you want to work with me, then it will be like it will not be good, right? Then also educate yourself about the social media scams, right? Because sometimes people they are behind likes, right? Likes, comments, subscriptions, all those things. So at that time you have lots of those tools and links by which you can increase the number of likes on your post, right? That may be a trap for you, right? Someone will say, okay, you can increase the number of likes on your post. You click on that link and done. Your whole information is gone, right? So that is another thing that you should take care of, right? Then, if there are any online quizzes or surveys which ask for personal information, that is a attempt to gather data for malicious purposes. Don't do that, right? Then, when you are going for any like you're going in any place, right? Any location. So don't share your location, right? You also have your privacy. You don't want to share everything where you are visiting, right? So these are some of the points that you can follow and be safe over the internet, right?